So I'm gonna bring this to the attention to the Qs and everything like that. Just a little backstory, real quick, and the reason why I want to be able to explain this is because I know a lot of what I talk about is really powerful, is really passionate, and sometimes it be taken in the wrong ways. You know what I'm saying? It do. I understand that. You know what I mean? Sometimes, people can't take that that raw aggression to be able to solve problems. But I was raised by queens, man. I wasn't raised by no niggas like that. You know, I was raised by my granny and her daughters. You know what I'm saying? And I remember short story. I remember like being older when you go through puberty and all that shit. Every male know this. And females y'all know this, but on the male side, you go through that puberty and you be thinking like the women don't know what the fuck she be talking about. Like you be thinking like, yo, my granny, you don't know what you're talking about. You'll say that to your own family. Granny, you don't know what you're talking about, grandma. I heard stories and stuff, dudes talking about my grandma didn't know what she was talking about or whatever when I was younger. But when you get older is when that shit hits your motherfucking brain cells, man, and you realize, dude, what the fuck she was saying was right all this time. Because women are like the true prophets, man. They got the prophecy in their soul. They're magical like that. They can actually predict the future, which is why they prepare for the future. See, when you listen to niggas talk about now. They worrying about right now. They're not even worried about tomorrow. They're worried about right now. The women think about the future, way ahead in the future. And if they aren't thinking about the future, it's because they're under the influence of an unrighteous male, right? That's just all it is, the manipulation of their brain cells. Because they have allowed a male to have control of their life instead of having control of their own motherfucking life. Because every female know when you got control of your own life, you got 2 or 3 jobs, you're going to school, you know what I'm saying? You're saving up money. You got the most money you ever saved in your life when you're not even with no dude. But as soon as you get with a dude, you don't have that much money no more. You don't have no friends. You know what I'm saying? Your hair ain't looking the way it's supposed to be looking at. You ain't got no job now. The dude done made you quit your job. So now you're a slave. Got to be taken care of by another motherfucker who really don't know where the fuck you going. Shit like that, man. This is all factual. And another thing too, man, I don't understand why people get mad at me. But for speaking factual shit, aren't we supposed to be living in our truth? If I say something, and somebody connects with that shit and be like, you know what? That shit actually happens. Then that's something that needs to be addressed. If this happens in my life, this is my experiences and my perspectives on how to be able to change certain shit. It happened. You can't tell me, you can't manipulate me and be like, yo, that shit didn't happen. Motherfucker, it did happen because I lived it. It's my experiences. I count on this earth. I'm a human being just like everybody else. My life count and I'm going to fucking make it count. That's just what it is. So I live like that. So going back and shit like that, I used to be like arguing with her and shit. She used to tell me because my mama knew I had a problem with my stepfather, right? So the thing is like my granny and my moms used to talk. And I think my other auntie used to talk too. And I just didn't know. When you're a kid, you don't know what they're talking about. They hitting them phones. They calling relatives, blah, blah, blah. You don't know what's going on. So I started noticing, I started going to St. Louis. I started going, to other places and shit like that. And the times I was supposed to be with my granny, my Aunt Bertha used to pick me up. And she used to take me around the city and shit. That's where I was all through Cochran Gardens and everything like that. That's when I started getting around them Panthers and all that type of shit. The old school dude, and he used to like be teaching me shit, and the women used to be teaching me the most. And I used to be in there with her. And then she'll take me back, you know what I'm saying, to my granny house. But it was like a field trip to me. But my mom and them knew because I was on my stepfather's ass, dude. I was about to kill him, dude, because he was abusing me. He was putting his hands on me because I wouldn't submit to be a slave like that to him. He thought that having a job was the epitome of manhood, but I'm watching my mom build a fucking daycare empire. I don't want a job. I want to be like her. I want to be like that queen right there. I want to have a motherfucking empire just like her, and I'm good at shit. I know how to write. I know how to do a lot of stuff. I know how to do poetry, but he didn't like that shit. So it was tension, and I used to go down there to my granny and to my aunties and shit. And the thing is, like my granny used to tell me, she was like, you can't be a man, dude, without understanding your feminine energy, dude. And it's like she ain't saying them exact words, but I'm saying it in a way that we understand now, because she's old school. She was like saying like, you already got testosterone in you. You born with that shit. You know what I'm saying? You're born with it. The way you're going to be a master of the testosterone levels you got is being able to learn more about it. You got to be taught about it, right? But you already have it. If somebody come over here and smack you right now, you'll be ready to fight. You know what I mean? You already know how to fight. I already know you know how to shoot guns. I already know you've been in some gang shit. I already know you already got it already, and you're 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? She said, what you need to do, as far as if you're going to be a man, you need to be able to understand your feminine energy, your feminine side, because every human being has it. And I'm like, what is you talking about? And immediately I'm thinking, man, I'm not on no fucking, gay shit. This is like my ignorance in my brain at that time, right? And this is from hanging around, certain different, different people. And see, the feminine energy they was always trying to give me, I was taking it into my brain, but I wasn't practicing it in my life, dude. And it was in my thoughts. It was like, it was slightly in my actions, but it didn't get to my behavior yet. So I was just kind of like bucking up against it, because when I'm around certain environments, I just felt like, it just felt funny to me like that, right? So I had to be around them more. And she's like, the way you're going to be a man is like, you have to be able to understand that feminine energy and the power of it. And the feminine energy is like love. It's like nurturing. It's like being compassionate. It's like better thinking skills, problem solving skills. You know what I'm saying? It's about, better choices and better decisions and stuff like that. Being able to raise children and stuff like that. Being able to pick the right part, like all this type of shit she was telling me. And at that time, dude, I did not really understand what that shit was. She used to have, like, at her house, it was a whole bunch of fucking foster care kids, right? A whole bunch of them. And when I went down into St. Louis, it's like they used to talk to me. We all kicked it because I was not from St. Louis, so I'm from a different place. And he's like, oh, what is it like that up there? It's more freezing up there. Like I'm telling them about Milwaukee. So it opens up conversations. But the one thing that we had all in common is that we came from abused households in some way. And we was in a place that a woman was trying to be able to heal us and trying to be able to make sure our life don't go down a fucked up ass way the way our parents did. So we embraced each other on that type of level. And it was beautiful. They used to tell me a lot of shit. I used to be like, damn, dog, for real? Like, yeah, this happened and that happened. So we had this code, like we wouldn't tell anybody. It was like a secrecy thing or whatever like that. But we understood a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And going back, it's just like she was like telling me, she was like, the way you're gonna be a man, you gotta understand the feminine side of you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that. You got to be able to apply that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to apply that every single day. You gotta understand about love, not male love, but female love. The balance is gonna make you into a man. It's not going to be just being a man and not understand the feminine energy is down here. No, you have to be able to rise it to a certain level where there's a certain balance to it. And once you have that balance, then you can grow higher. Probably like this, right? And that being the point, you can go higher. Because right here is low level. When you balance it and you start to rise, you get to that point, like almost like a pyramid, right? I don't want to throw that up like that, right? Shut up. But anyway, fuck it. You go up there like a pyramid. Now you at the top right there of the epitome of manhood. And I start to understand that. And I know I just woke up with that stuff on my brain, dude. Like, I was like, man, I can't hold that in. I got to be able to reach out there to the cues and kind of like let them know, you know what I'm saying, what it is and everything like that. And even let the males know and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I already had that in me, man. You need the feminine energy. That's why there was something about listening to women talk was just better than listening to a man talk. Even if they was like saying the same shit, because the woman, to me, came from more loving, nurturing, like she wanted me to win. I think a lot of dudes are just telling me shit to keep me to a certain place so they can win, so I won't go ahead of them. The women wanted me to be the best that I possibly can be in this world. And that's one thing that I love so much about them and everything like that. And that's why I feel like I owe a lot to them. And I've dedicated the rest of my life to fatherhood, to the arts, and to empowering them. And that's just what it is, man. I don't give a fuck who know about it. I don't give a fuck who got a problem with it, any of that shit. It is what it is, you know? So everybody have a good morning, and we'll talk again soon.